What shall we name this one? Welcome to the world, little Caleb.
There is danger forming around us.
Jews are no longer able to own pets. The important thing is that I can hear their prayer.
What would I do without you, Caleb? Just us now.
Hi, August. How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Well, I am very excited to be speaking with you. I loved your work on Girl Meets World, but boy, were you in good hands with Lynn doing Shepard.
Yeah.
August, this is an incredible performance. You had me in tears watching this.
Thank you so much. That means so much to me.
I mean, it's, what was it about this script that made you say yes, you wanted to do this film?
So before I was in Girl Meets World, as you know, doing comedy, and after that, I really wanted to branch out and try new genres. And when I got the offer for Shepard, I was really excited because I wanted to try something new, and also it was something that should be spoken about, because I didn't know about the Holocaust at the time, because they didn't really teach it to me much in school, and so I studied for the role, and I read books about the Holocaust, I watched movies, I read The Boy in the Striped Pajamas, Number the Stars, Diary of Anne Frank, anything you can imagine. I read it, and I'm really glad I did this movie because I think this is something that everyone should know about, And I feel like school doesn't teach it that well, it doesn't teach more about it.
No, I completely agree with you. And who isn't going to want to see a movie about a boy and his dog?
Yeah. I love movies with dogs.
Well,
ones where the dog doesn't die.
I know. And that's one of the great things about this film. Caleb saves Joshua. Joshua saves Caleb. They are just the perfect buddies on screen. It's wonderful watching you with the dog. Now, I know that there was more than one dog. Did you interact with all of the dogs that played Caleb? Or was there just one or two that you got to do all your close-ups with?
So actually, I got to interact with every single dog because before we actually started filming, I had a week to interact with the dogs because before, I did not have a dog of my own at the time, and my mom was really concerned about it. And as we were looking for a dog so that I could train with at my house, my uncle comes over with a German Shepherd, coincidentally, just oh, I need someone to take this dog. My mom's like, whose dog is this? They want this dog. And so I had her for a month before the actual before the actual film. And when I did go, when I was at Budapest, I had a week to interact with all the dogs and train with them. And one of the German Shepherds actually had a whole bunch of babies. They had a whole bunch of puppies. So we used those for the opening scene, and I got to interact with them too. And all the dogs were really fun to play with and to train with, and they all could do different things. So that's why there were multiple dogs.
So how many did you want to bring back home to Los Angeles with you?
All of them. I love them all. I wanted to bring them all back home.
Those puppies are awfully cute in the opening of the film.
They were. They were really cute.
And very cuddly looking.
Mm-hmm.
You know, in addition to working with dogs in this film, you also, number one, you go to Hungary. So you're racking up your frequent flyer miles early here. So you go to Hungary, but it's in the fall, winter, so it's kind of cold. Then you had to learn an accent. You had to learn the German Jewish dialect. What kind of challenges did that present to you, or do you find that you naturally can pick up accents?
So I have never tried to learn a dialect before then, but I actually had someone who would teach me the dialect before the scene, and we'd run over it, and it was really exciting because I got to learn more about how they talk, and it was really exciting to me. And ever since, I've been getting auditions for other dialects, and it's been really fun because I get to learn something new and talk a new way, and it's really cool.
Well, isn't that what makes acting so fun? Is you always get to learn something new. You play a different character, and you pick up dialects you didn't know. You could do dialects. Now you know.
Yeah, I love it so much because it presents new challenges to me as an actor, and I like taking those challenges.
How physically challenging was shooting Shepard?
Well, the most physically challenging part was at the very end where I jumped into the water. And as you said before, it was very cold. It was in the middle of fall, and it was at night. So that was probably the most physically challenging part because I had to jump in cold water. But it was worth it because it looked great on screen.
Oh, actually, that's one of my favorite scenes in the film, where you jump into the water, and then there's Kaleb on the shore, and he goes. He's coming to get you.
It's one of my favorite parts too.
I love that, and to see the moonlight on the water, it's almost like you're being baptized. Your life is starting again as you're leaving the horrors behind. It's such an emotional scene, but watching you and Kaleb reunite as he saves you with his doggy paddling in the water. Oh my God, I was crying, August, crying.
Oh my gosh, I have never heard that analogy. That's such a great analogy. I'm going to remember that.
It's such a special moment in the film. But yeah, you had me crying, and I wasn't using tissues. I was wiping my eyes with paper towels. I was using paper towels to wipe my eyes. I was crying so much. So they're heavier and stronger. How is the leap for you going from television into feature films?
So,
is there a learning curve for you? Is there anything that you have to approach differently? I'm curious.
Yeah, so it's kind of like going from running to walking, because in comedy it's all fast-paced, like line, joke, laugh, Movies, it's kind of like walking. The pace is very slow, and you have time to think, and you have time to feel the words that you are saying. And it was very challenging for me as an actor because I didn't do any movies before then. And I had to learn a whole new way of thinking and processing ideas, plus the dialect. And it was really fun for me.
Wow. I think you're one of the few actors that has said it's really fun to change it up like that. A lot of actors, when they go from television to film, they're kind of befuddled. And they can't quite, it takes them a while to grasp it because they're so used to the fast pace of television. But I think I will admit, it was hard at first. It really was. But yeah, I feel like after getting the idea of how to process I'm thinking before I'm saying it, it just really rubbed off on me. So now it's kind of hard to go back to the fast-paced things when I get auditions for
television shows, I'm like, okay, this is a whole new way of thinking. I have to go back into it again.
Well, and something that you do that I love seeing in a young actor like yourself, you're trying out all these different genres. You've got the horror genre with Slapface. You now have the drama with Shepard. You've got your comedy. You've done voicing. Are you finding any kind of, are you leaning towards any kind of genre at this point? Or is it just, you just want to explore it all?
So a part of me wants to explore all kinds of genres, and I would be just as happy to do movies of the same genre that I've already done. But what I really want to do is some kind of action movie. I've always been into action movies. I've been watching the Marvel movies, and I was like, oh my gosh, one day I want to be in a Marvel movie or Marvel TV show.
I don't know, Tom Holland can't be Spider-Man forever.
Yeah.
Get your name in there. Put your bids in. Wow.
Yeah.
I would be remiss to not ask you, I know you are an activist about spreading awareness for life-threatening food allergies. I was going to say, that's something that I understand. I have a brother who has severe food allergies. So much so that when he was little, and if we were eating even a peanut butter sandwich, he had to go into a different room.
That is the same thing for me. And I feel like a lot of people don't take food allergies seriously. They don't know much about them. That's why I feel like it's so important for me to speak out about it so people know, because not even, like, people with food allergies should know what to do in case of an emergency, but I feel like not only people with food allergies, but people who have friends with food allergies, so they can be careful around them. And I even had to educate all my friends about my food allergies, so they would be safe. So everything would be safe around them too. Mm-hmm. So I feel like I'm not speaking out only for people with food allergies, but also for everyone.
Yes. With my brother, every time we'd go to a restaurant, always have to ask, what's in it?
Yeah, always have to ask.
Is there...
If it's a new brand, I always have to call the place.
Yep.
Make sure that there's no shared lines. If it says may contain, that's a no. Absolutely no.
Grown up since the 1950s, when allergies weren't as understood as they are now even, but you were very, very cautious. My mother and father, they read all the labels. It's like, no, if I wanted to eat something, or my other siblings wanted to eat something, but my allergic brother, it was something he couldn't have, well, then we couldn't have it either. Mm-hmm. So I understand what you go through, and I think what you're doing is very, very important.
Thank you so much. I feel like it's very important too.
What kind of response do you get from your friends and from other people when they hear you talk about the importance of knowing about these food allergies?
So anytime I talk to them about food allergies, they completely understand, and they're super careful. And if they're eating something that I'm allergic to, they will literally go eat it in another room and then wash their hands after. They are the nicest people ever. And my best friend, McKenna Grace, anytime I'm over at her house, she will literally put the peanut butter in another room. And anything that may have touched the peanut butter, at some point we wash it with hot water and soap, and we make sure that there is no trace of peanut butter or anything I'm allergic to. She is the nicest person, and all my friends are really nice. They're all super cautious about my food allergies, which is amazing to me.
Now, is there an organization that you work with or to promote this awareness?
Yes, I'm actually an ambassador of FAACT. FAACT, it stands for Food Allergy Awareness, Food Allergy Anaphylaxis Connection Team, or something like that. And
as their ambassador, do you go to speak at places, speak at schools? What does that entail?
Yeah, so I would speak at places, and also there was like a teen retreat a few years ago, canceled now because of COVID, but But every year we would fly out to different locations, and everybody who had food allergies would gather together, and we'd all have a whole week of fun where we would swim in the lake and do all sorts of things, archery, you name it. It was a camp. They called it Camp Tag, and it was a camp for kids with food allergies, and it was so fun. But now they're doing it virtually, I think.
Not as much fun as being together in person, though.
Yeah. Thankfully, they're gonna do one next summer.
And I'm sure you'll be there.
Yes, of course.
So now that Shepard is about to be released everywhere, you've got Slapface that's already out there. What is next on your plate? Are you just going to kick back and enjoy the summer as you finally get to go back outside again after last year? Or do you have any projects lined up that you're looking at?
Yeah, I just did a short film for the director Luke Benward and the producer Ariel Winter, and we did a short film called Boys, and I did with my co-star Cameron Cravity and from Big Little Lies. Mm-hmm. And yeah, so I did that. I did that last year, and it is a drama, and I'm really excited for y'all to see it. It's gonna be really good. It's for the festivals. I
can't wait to see it, and I can't wait to see where your career takes you, August. You have just so much talent, and you had me
so much.
You had me spellbound with Shepard. As much as I liked you as Auggie in Girl Meets World, it doesn't compare to your performance and the emotion in Shepard. Job well done, August.
Thank you.
Thank well
you
done.
So much.
Oh, thank you. And I hope I get to talk to you again in the future.
Yeah, I hope I get to talk to you again soon, too.
Now, you go have a wonderful rest of your day.
You too. Thank you so much. It was such a pleasure being here.